have fun. A little bit of Demon Slayer is in this book. So, yeah. Your POV. Sometimes I hate mornings. Today it had been raining out. Matter of fact, it had been raining so hard that's when it landed on the window it sounded like thunder. I don't know how, but Numizumi is still asleep. God, I wish I could. Looking out of the second story window, I felt something weird being in this house alone. Did I mention that? I was alone by myself with Numizumi. I wished Izu was here so I could do something, at least. For example, I was not allowed to leave the room nor Numizumi because we could escape, which I don't know how we could. Walking to the mini bookcase and picking up Spider Lily, P.S. working on it right now. And then going back to sit by the window. It felt weird being by myself. Of course, I have Numizumi, but like I said, she was asleep. Reading my book, I thought how I could be there. The dream. That I was fighting to protect people I loved from things that wanted to kill them. Sometimes it did put me on edge on my seat when the big boss showed himself to the main character when he's just starting out training. It felt weird to me. You don't really see books like this. Sometimes I wish I could be in his shoes. I wish I could fight alongside people. I said, I can't. I do love Izu, truly, but sometimes I wish I could just go out and do what I want, like fighting bad guys, like Numizumi said. One day, I dreamed of being there. Come on, stupid! I yelled out. Shut up! You just been saying zoom every time we get thrown, the boarhead man shouted. Because it's funny, I spat. Why don't you come and help? Yelled a yellow-haired boy running from the danger in question. Bitch, I'm stuck, I yelled out. She's right, said the other two that was fighting with him. God, being there would feel like a new world to be like. I feel free in some better place, but since I have to deal with harder things though, that's when Numizumi had woken up. Mama, what are you doing? She asked as she walked up to the window. She was not able to get up for her. She was so small, lifting little Numizumi on my lap. She looked outside to see the rain falling towards the ground. Mama, can we go out and play in it? She asked with puppy dog eyes. Sorry, but I'm not allowed out, and neither are you. I spoke, pushing back the strands of hair that was in her face. Aw, not fair. Why can't we break the rules? She spat. Numizumi, if we break the rules, we'll be both punished. I spoke seriously. She puffed, knowing the consequences to that. She jumped off my lap and walked towards the door to the room. It was locked. She huffed out and sounded mad. Are you hungry? I asked her. Yes, she spoke softly. I could barely hear her. If you saw, there was a plate of favorite food on the table where I usually keep my books. I spoke to her. She looked to the table to see it. Walking up to the plate, she grabbed it and walked towards the bed and ate the food. They will be back soon. By the way, to be 1 p.m. Pacific. I spoke to her. So, 2 hours from now? She said, looking at the clock on the wall. Yes, you are right. I spoke happily. I saw her smile. She was happy to hear how happy my voice was. Bang! The door to the front door opened with a huge bang. Numizumi dropped the plate of food and ran towards me. She jumped onto my lap. She trembled in fear. She shook in my arms and cried out. It went quiet and she was still shaking. Then I heard footsteps coming closer towards my door. It sounded like one. Putting Numizumi down, I walked towards where the plate used to be and grabbed the butter knife. I knew it wouldn't be much, but it was something. I walked towards the door and held it in my hands. The door opened and I plunged the butter knife at the person. The person had blocked the attack and threw me to the ground. Were you trying to kill me? Asked a familiar voice. Izu? No, I wasn't. I thought you were an intruder, I cried out. Oh, I'm sorry, Yin. He spoke joyfully and helping me up from the spot on the floor. I'm sorry, Yin, he said, then kissed my cheek. Get out, Numizumi said behind us. Numizumi, please stop telling me that, Izuku said, grabbing my arm tighter and tighter. He was getting angry at Numizumi. Izu? She's probably just tired, I squeaked out. You're probably right. Or she could have had a bad night, he said, hugging me. Why don't we play hide and seek? He giggled out. She looked at him, scared. She knew she messed up. She knew I would take her punishment. She looked at him. This was a terrified face on hers. Izu's face looked like he wasn't kidding. His face, well, smile was wide. Let's see. You have a minute to hide. If I find you, I'll just say a friend will deal with your punishment, he giggled out. Go, he spoke out. Numizumi ran out of the room. I could hear her shoes falling off, for I couldn't hear her anymore. What are you going to do to her? I said. I couldn't help her, for he was blocking the way. Nothing, just show her that she shouldn't be so mean, he spoke in a sing-song voice, walking towards me. He hugged me and whispered into my ear. I won't hurt her that bad, he giggled, then walking backwards. Welp, time to go find Numizumi, he said, walking out of the room. I ran to the door, but he locked it, and I heard out his giggle. Can't go helping now, can we? That's when I heard him walk away. Whatever he's going to do, it won't be good. Okay, this might be a dumb idea, but I have to save Numizumi, I thought as I ran towards the vanity and grabbed a bobby pin. Izuku will surely be someone or something at my door, so there's one way out. I looked at the window and started to walk towards it. Now the window, I placed the bobby pin by the lock and tried to unlock it. It took some time, but it worked. Hopefully now, opening the window's doors. Standing on the edge of the window, I looked down. I definitely gonna break something if I jump from the second floor. If I had been training still, I would have, but it's been so long. Scaling the edge of the building to where I could get to a good spot to jump off. I ended up in the garden. Now, picking the leaves and flowers off my body and running towards the doors inside. They were locked as well. Why? Is he going to kill Numizumi? No, please. I worked so hard to let her have a life the best I could give her. And now this? I don't give a care about the bobby pin. I walked towards one of the trees and found a large stick from it. And, taking it to the door, I smashed it on the door. God, that was actually worked. Running past the glass and going towards the main hall. There she was. Hanomu hand grabbed around her body. Oops, looks like Mommy's here. Izu giggled out. But I wonder how you got out. His tone got darker. Just You just hurt people because they don't do as you say, I yelled out. That's when Izzy walked towards me and punched me in the stomach. The punch had been so hard that I had splattered blood out of my mouth. Now that you're on the ground, you should know your place. All you really do is turn into a dumb. He was cut off with a flung to the opposite side of the hall. He smashed in the wall, but looked fine. I looked at where the attack came from. It was Numizumi. Her arms were enveloped in some black matter, her arm longer than the other. Was this her quirk? No, it can't be. She's too young. Wait, she's crying. Oh, please stop this. I want to stop this. I failed her, didn't I? Mommy? I heard her little voice. She was in front of me. The Nomu lay on the floor. Izu was knocked out cold. Wait, Numizumi, did you do this? I asked her as she hugged me. I don't know. All I know is that my head hurts. It had been a week since that happened. She had passed out, and Izuku hasn't come to see me. In fact, no one has. Numizumi had stayed in my room. She slept almost all the time, but God, I wish I could do something. It's so boring here. You spoke to yourself? Numizumi is asleep, so I don't think anyone is here. You sat up, walking towards the door and opening it, going to get a snack because you were kind of hungry. Grabbing your favorite snack and walking towards the living room. Once you took the first bite, you heard someone coming towards the door. No, multiple people. You opened the door and walked in. Dabi, Shigaraki, and wait. Is that Hawks? No, that little brat has a quirk now? Dabi spoke. Yeah, she broke the stupid kid's arm and killed that Nomu that was assigned to the stupid kid. Shigaraki spoke out. So what kid are you talking about? The UA one, or Hawks spoke as you then was interrupted. The UA's little brat. She caused a lot of damage. I think the hero saw a bit of her quirk, but by what you told us. Dabi spoke. Oh, do you know what her quirk is? Hawks asked. If the doc is right, it's black matter is her quirk. Her blood once spilled and wrapped around a piece of her body and made her stronger. Shigaraki spoke. What? Oh, looks like we have a little listener. Dabi chuckled. So, look what we have here. Dabi chuckled once more with one of Hawks' feathers holding you up. You're not gonna hurt her, I screamed out. Oh, and what are you gonna do? Hurt us? Shigaraki laughed. How rude. Oh, have nothing to say. All the fight out, Dabi teased. Hawks, get the kid, Shigaraki ordered. Oh, before you do, where is she? Shigaraki asked. ... Fuck it, I'm saying it. In your ass, I spat. Cocky now, are we? Dabi said, holding me by the throat. Say that again. Oh yeah, you can't. Dabi laughed. She's in the bedroom. Shigaraki spoke to Hawks. No. Put her down, a voice said from the entrance. It was her, the girl. Orders have changed. The girl isn't needed, but she is. The woman pointed to me. What? Hawks said from the stairs. I don't know. That's all was spoken to me. Dabi let go. You fell to the floor. Leave without the kid? Come on, little missy. She smiled and walked towards me, pulling me into a portal that opened up to where the main base in front of thousands of people. There you were, in front of hundreds. Wait, no, thousands. You were on the floor. Everyone was staring at the platform. Hey, doll, you heard Izu say from behind you, and picking you up from the back. Now that we are all here, let us continue. Izu spoke, sitting on a chair with you on his lap. You just stayed there, looking at the thousands of people in front of you. Why were you here? You good, doll? Izu said, putting his hand on your shoulder. Oh, his head on your shoulders. Shoulder? It should be shoulder. God, you are amazing, he said, snaking his hand up you. Izu, please. You tried not to moan, for he had been playing with your playing with your boob. No, they need to know, he said, kissing your neck. The dude had been talking about something, about and why Izu was in charge. Shigaraki looked pissed at this. And with that, I know that we will reveal, the weird man yelling out to the people. And with that, the mental abilities and the quirkless will finally get to deserve, alongside with the anamorphic. I think that's the name of the people with non-human-like quirks. Sorry if I'm wrong. Then we will finally be accepted and not feared, Izu said, patting your head. The thousands of people could be heard. Numizumi's POV. Where did you take Mama? I questioned the lady that took her. I don't really know, but stop calling me that. Call me Lady Butterfly. Still, it is relevant to my quirk. The lady stopped. I will not be calling you that. I said, none of the people were deserved what my mom called kindness. They hurt Mama and me, and it was because of me. Hun, are you okay? The lady asked. Then I realized I was crying. Leave me alone. You guys have done nothing right for me and Mama. I yelled at her. Why should she have said that? She was with them. You know she began. Of course, I just want to hang out with other kids. I spat at her, walking towards the stairs. You know what? That's impossible right now, she spoke. What? I asked, turning around to look at her. In a week, the League will take over Japan. She paused. Then the world, she giggled. Was she on our side or not? Your POV. Were you talk? Oh, were you? Where are you taking me? You asked as Izu brought you along with him. Oh, nothing. Just what I wanted to spend time with you. He giggled, opening the door, which led into a room that looked like a meeting room. No one was in there, though. That's when he walked to a beanbag chair and flopped down on it. Goodness, Yin, that was a long meeting, right? He asked, cuddling you. Yeah. You spoke? Don't lie. I know you didn't listen for the whole thing. He chuckled. Yeah, but it doesn't concern you, he said, kissing your cheek. That's when I realized there was a map on the right side of the room. That's where I saw where I think the island is, and I made a mental note. Izu, I have a question, you said, looking at him. Yes, darling? You can ask me anything, he said, smiling. Do you really love me and Numizumi? I asked him. His face was a little shocked. Of course. You're my love, and she's my daughter, he said, smiling. But sometimes you don't act like you love Numizumi. He spoke once more, a little angry tone. It's just, I'm mad with people. They piss me off. And I feel bad for taking my anger out on you and her. He spoke, placing his head in the crook of your neck. And I want to fix our relationship, he said. You still can, but you have to work with her. Take some time off and maybe she'll love you again, you said, putting your hand on the side of his head. If you want, I can help fix your relationship with your daughter, you giggled. I'd like that a lot, he chuckled. Both of you were in the front of the door and heard little footsteps that you think is Numizumi. Mom, you're all right, she said, worried, then turned angry. Hey, Numizumi, want to play a game? He spoke, her little mind ready to play whatever game she liked. Can we play chess? She spoke. Sure, but why do you want to play it? It's a thinking game, I spoke, walking towards the living room with Izu following behind me, taking the box and placing it on the coffee table. Well, I think it is because, well, I don't know, she giggled. Now, the whole game was ready, and she went first, placing the pawn 2 places up top where it was. Do you know how to play? You asked, and you placed your piece down. Yeah, and I'm sure I'm going to win, she giggled. Even against you, she said at Izu darkly. Maybe. When this one is done, he chuckled. The two of you continued to both play losing pieces, but she didn't look fazed at all. She was fucking smart for her age. Checkmate. She spoke. ... Wow, you're one smart girl, he giggled, ruffling her hair up. Now, I want to beat you and show that I'm the better one, she pointed to Izu. You got up and sat on the middle of the opposite where he sat. He got up and sat where you sat. Let the fun begin, he chuckled. The two had started to play. Goodness, it's your go, he said, his head on his hand. I know, she spat. She was taking so much time to finish her turn. I think she was stumped. I saw every move on the board. She had half of her pieces gone, and same with Izu. God, she was really thinking. There were so many opportunities, but there was one that would have made her win. But she was too worried. Wait, did she see it? She was looking at the piece. Is she thinking about it? That's when she played it, and he killed it, and that's when the queen killed the knight, and that was blocking the king. Check, he spoke. Well, that was fun, he chuckled. Both me and her looked around the whole board. She couldn't win with any moves. No fair, she spat. You wanted a hard game, didn't you? He asked. Can we play another game? She asked him. Yes. I finally worked on hopefully making a relationship good again, as he thought to himself. All right, you pick, he spoke, smiling at her as she ran to get another game. Goodness, Izu and Numizumi are sleeping, you spoke to yourself as you walked into the room. With snacks in hand, you placed them down and picked up Numizumi and sat next to Izuku Midoriya, falling asleep with the two people you loved. Today was a nice and wonderful day. I, Izu, and Numizumi were out in the garden. She had been playing with the bugs and flowers, her even bringing things to ask about them. She mostly asked Izu about things, which he smiled to and said they will go on a whole rant about them. That made you smile, about how it was so cute how they would act, and them talking about it was so cute. Mom, make flower crowns. Numizumi snapped at you out of your thoughts. What? You asked. I want a flower crown, and so does Daddy. She huffed. Me and Izu looked shocked that she called him that again. Fine, he said, picking the flowers and waving them together. She picked some flowers and tried to do the same thing as you, her messing up and you helping her weave the flowers together. And that's when she had finished her first flower crown. She smiled so bright. She standed up and walked over to Izu and tried to place it on his head, her smiling when then walking towards me and picking some flowers. By the same time she sat back down, you had been done with the 3 in total and placed hers on her head as she puts flowers into the cat-like tail you had, and Izu scooted closer to you, and you placed his on his head, and so now he had 2 flower crowns. Then you placed yours on your head. Now you are the flower queen and Daddy is the flower king, Numizumi giggled. You booped her on the nose and spoke. That means you're my little princess. That's when a man walked into the garden and stood in front of us. Deku and Miss Yin is asked to be seen by the others. He spoke. Aw, but I don't want you guys to leave. She spoke. Oh, baby, we'll be back. I spoke, standing up and picking her up and placing her on her feet. Let's go then. Izu lending out his hand and you taking his hand. Numizumi followed as the two of you made it to the main entrance. When do you think you guys will be back? She asked, her eyes looking like they were all teared up. Hopefully less than an hour. Izu looked at the man like he wanted to kill him. That's when a portal type thing opened up and we walked inside. There was the same room that with what you think was the rest of the league. Why'd you bring her? Dobby asked, pointing to you. Izu looked at him, pissed as shit. She comes with me when I come. Izu spoke, sitting down next to him. So, how far is Shiggy? Izu asked the others, working on paper. He's about 85% done, Spinner said. Good. We can finally show those heroes to suck their own asses, Izu spoke, Toga giggling at the statement. That's when someone burst through the door, huffing and puffing. What the fuck is wrong with you? Dobby spoke. Heroes are here. He spoke. Everyone was shocked. That's when Izu slammed on the table and yelled out, Get everyone ready. That's when everyone got up and went to places they needed to be. But except for you and Izu. I'm staying here with you since we don't really have a plan with you here. He spoke, looking at you. That's when the building started to shake. That's when he ran and picked you up, shielding you from the blow of the building falling apart. As the burst of dust settled, you saw him look at you, making sure you were fine. And that's when he kissed your forehead. That's when he put you down, making sure there were no heroes in sight. That's when you guys heard lightning. You were shocked, to say the least, semi-jumping into his arms. God, you're such a cutie, he chuckled. That's when Izu saw fire. Oh, Dobby's fire. What's wrong, Izu? You asked. Something's wrong with Dobby. He's on the 3rd floor, and his fire just came out of the 3rd-story window. He spoke. I wonder what's wrong with... That's when a giant hand came out of nowhere, and a giant piece of rock came out of nowhere, heading towards you and Izu. Dot, dot, dot. What the fuck was that? You thought, looking at the time. Wait, it's the day where Katsuki was attacked by that villain. You thought that's when you got out of bed, making the bed as well as getting ready for school, walking down the stairs, seeing your parents eating breakfast. Oh, good morning, dear, your father spoke. That's when you started to cry, running towards them. You started to hug him, to say your parents were worried out of their minds. Dear, is everything okay? Your mother asked as she sat you down and gave you breakfast. I'm sorry. Then it must have been a dream, you spoke, eating. Well, that Midoriya kid wanted to walk with you, your father said, placing his dish. Have a good day, you two, your father said, kissing your mother and leaving for work. You better get going, or Midoriya is going to be waiting, your mother giggled, winking. That's when you got up quickly, placing your dish in the sink and running out of the door. Love you, Mom, you shouted to her as you closed the door. She has changed, she giggled. That's then when you saw Izu. Hey, Yin, he chuckled as you hugged him. You were so happy to see him back to normal. Yin, we need to get going or we're going to be late, he chuckled. As the two of you walked, you heard Katsuki. Walking with Deku, huh? He asked. That's when you stopped. Yeah, I am. It's because I'm tired of your crap, Katsuki. What did he ever do to you? All he did was trying to be friends with you? But no, you had to be a piece of crap, Katsuki. He spoke, yelling at him, and his little goons behind him. What you didn't see was Izu blushing. That's it, Katsuki. I'm done with your piece of ass being rude to others, you spoke, walking towards Midoriya. Let's go, Izu, you said, holding his hand, walking away. Bakugo was dumbfounded. He just stood there as you walked away with Deku. It was lunch now, and you were eating with Izu on the roof. Yin, that was so cool. What you did this morning was amazing, he spoke. Izu, it's because I'm tired of him being so mean to people without a good reason. You spoke, looking at him. That's when you kissed him on the forehead. Besides, you're cuter, you said, booping his nose. He spoke, not thinking. His face was so red, like a tomato red. You giggled. God, you're so cute, you spoke to him. You know, Izu, I know you like me, you said as he became more redder. What? He spoke. How about today we walk home together? I never want to talk with Bakugo again, you huffed. All right, Yin. What can I call you Yin-chan? He asked. Sure, just not anything weird, you spoke. That's when you both started laughing. It wasn't funny at all, but at least you two were having fun. You two were now in UA. He told you about his new quirk, and he even asked you out, which you were ecstatic. He wasn't anything like you think was the dream you had, but he was a little jealous sometimes, but all you had to do was give him some love and he'll be happy after. But now it was UA Sports Festival, and, well, after, I should say, and you were in the dorms just hanging out with everyone else. You all playing games, you playing with his hair and ruffling it up to look like your quirk's cat-like ears. God, I wish I had a relationship like you and Midoriya. Mina sighed. Well, I did used to date Bakugo, you spoke. What? Everyone in the room yelled. Yes, but I called it off because I was tired of his crap. You spoke. Damn, Bakugo really lost, Sarah joked. Well, I think we should get to bed, you spoke, getting up and Izu following you, grabbing the end of your shirt. Can we cuddle tonight? Izu asked. You giggled. Sure, let's go then. You walked towards your room. Somewhere else. Breaking news today. Bakugo Katsuki was finally found in the League of Villains base, as well as All Might retire since the day Bakugo Katsuki was found, and the villain All For One was taken into custody, the newsman said. The one watching was a girl in a fancy dress with long black hair, stood there drinking a cup of tea. So, it looks like my brother and father have lost this one. I wonder if they will ever win. She giggled, placing her teacup down.